The Jungle Book begins this story with a small man in the dense forest of India. The child named Mowgli is shown running away with the wolves. And then a black panther comes in front of them, whose name is Bagheera. Actually, many years ago when Mowgli was very young, Mowgli Bagheera, and Bagheera took them to walls, and then a wolf whose name is Raksha. He made Mowgli his son, and the rest of his raised with children. The rest of his flock also accepted Mowgli. The leader of their flock is named Akela. Although Bagheera is a black panther, but still he lives together with wolves. And Mowgli teaches the ways of wolves. Now comes summer in the forest. There is a shortage of water everywhere. That is why all the animals in the forest are among themselves. Let's make a treaty and decide what is left on the banks of the river. Hua is water. Everyone will come to drink that water, but no one will. And now all the small to big of the whole forest, the animals are gathering at the riverbank. Mowgli is coming there too. Mowgli has been strictly forbidden by the leader of the wolves, named Akela. He was told to understand and adopt the behavior of the wolves. He was told that he must learn to behave like the wolves. And now when everyone is drinking water, all the animals are watching Mowgli in shock, because they have never seen this type of animal in the jungle, and very few of them know that he is a human, and now it's extremely silent. Then we are shown a scary tiger whose name is Shere Khan. Shere Khan smells a human there and says there is a human among us. He looks at Mowgli and says to give him to him, but the leader of the wolves named Akela tells him that he is part of their pack. We won't give Mowgli to you at any cost. Shere Khan threatens them, saying this is a time of shortage, but if not today, then tomorrow it will rain and the agreement between us will break, and then I will take the human child away. No one can stop me. He leaves this place with that threat. Seeing this, all the wolves are worried. All are now worried for Mowgli. Time passes and the rain starts pouring. There is a meeting of the wolves in which they cannot decide. They can't decide whether they should keep Mowgli with them or not, because if they keep Mowgli with them, Shere Khan would attack them too. Mowgli doesn't want to put his pack in danger at any cost, so he goes to the herd and says that he will leave from there. Bagheera is also there. He tells everyone that it would be good for Mowgli to go away. I know of a human village. I'll leave Mowgli there. However, Raksha's mother, Raksha, does not want Mowgli to leave this jungle and his family, but now Mowgli has to go. Mowgli moves forward with Bagheera, and they reach a dry meadow where there are many buffaloes all around, and then Bagheera, he senses there's danger nearby and he tells Mowgli, you head towards that light over there, but Mowgli doesn't understand something, and then Shere Khan attacks. He starts fighting Bagheera with him, and Mowgli now starts running. There's a fight between Bagheera and Shere Khan, but Shere Khan is too powerful. Bagheera can't match him, so Shere Khan defeats Bagheera and now starts chasing Mowgli. And just as he's about to catch Mowgli, he collides with the buffaloes. After that, Mowgli jumps into a ditch below, and here the buffalo starts running away in fear of Shere Khan. Shere Khan getting up and up there, and Mowgli is down below with many buffaloes running in the middle, and taking advantage of this, Mowgli escapes by catching a buffalo. Shere Khan, frustrated with Mowgli's escape, storms off full speed. He goes to where the wolves live and accuses them of hiding Mowgli, where the wolves tell him that Mowgli is no longer here, but Shere Khan says that you are at fault. I had told you earlier to hand over the child to me, but you did not listen to me. Here the leader of the wolves, Akela, stands up to him. He begins to face him, but Shere Khan throws him down from the ledge, and Akela dies, and now all the wolves are terrified, and Shere Khan has taken over their territory, where Mowgli is still visible, who is still riding on a buffalo. And when he opens his eyes, he sees that they are running through a narrow rocky path, where a repeat landslide is happening and is coming ahead. To save his life, he jumps into the river below, and now Mowgli, in a dense jungle. Mowgli is hungry and thus looking for fruit. He climbs a tree to find something to eat. When some small creatures come along who steal his fruit away, Mowgli begins to chase them and becomes completely lost, straying far from the river. And while he is up in the tree, suddenly a large python snake appears named Kaa, who hypnotizes Mowgli, causing him to recall his past when he was very young. He sees how inside the cave his father was fighting with Shere Khan to save him. His father held a torch flame, which he used to attack Shere Khan, and even today the mark of that attack is noticeable on Shere Khan, causing the entire jungle to become fearful of him, as they call him Bloodflower. When Mowgli's father was killed in childhood, Bagheera came to him and took him to Baloo, introducing him to a giant python snake named Kaa. She's engaging with Mowgli in conversation so she can eat him. She's very hungry and wants to eat Mowgli before that. Here comes a bear named Baloo. He's on top of Kaa. He starts the fight and rescues Mowgli from here, while Mowgli is unconscious. He was unconscious, and now when he recovers, Baloo is in front of him. He's quirky guy, this Baloo, he says to Mowgli. Look, son, I saved your life. In return, you will have to work for me. But Mowgli wants to go to the human settlement from here as soon as possible. He starts walking, but Baloo stops him and says, help me get some honey. Help me. Winter is coming and I need a lot of honey. Mowgli agrees to help him. Mowgli uses his intelligence and finds a place where there's a lot of honey, using human ways. There a lot of honey is collected for Baloo, who becomes very happy seeing this and says, why don't you stay with me? We'll become good friends and collect a lot of honey. We'll have fun and enjoy ourselves. We can have a great time here. But Mowgli says that Bagheera has charged me to stop here. Baloo says, Bagheera is my friend. I know him. Don't worry, don't. You won't have any problem here under any circumstances. I guarantee I will protect. Mowgli and Baloo become very good friends in the middle. Mowgli, Baloo, and also enjoys the city very much and asks Mowgli to take him where one can see the convenience of humans. But that is Mowgli now having convinced that he will stay with us next morning when both are enjoying themselves. Then Bagheera comes here, which Mowgli, seeing this place, seems to have been scared that now Mowgli is still in human settlement, looking scared. Mowgli is still in the forest. Looking at Mowgli, Bagheera is very happy. He is smiling, and Baloo tells Bagheera that both are friends. We will always stay together. After this, Mowgli takes Bagheera to the cave where he has gathered a lot of honey for Baloo, which he smashed a lot for Baloo. Seeing this, he gets very angry and tells that we explained to you earlier that you cannot use human methods in the jungle. You have to be a good wolf, but for now you will go to the human colony. Tomorrow we are heading towards the human settlement. Now when they are sleeping at night, then Mowgli hears the sound of elephants, and when he goes to the elephants, he sees that a baby elephant is stuck in a pit. Mowgli takes a rope and pulls the baby out with the help of the rope, sees that Bagheera and Baloo are also watching this, from which they are very happy, and now Bagheera tells Baloo that Shere Khan has killed Akela and his next target now is Mowgli. He wants to catch Mowgli at any cost and kill him, and when Baloo finds out that Shere Khan is after Mowgli, then he understands in his mind that he cannot save Mowgli from Shere Khan, so he is worried. Makar comes to Mowgli and lies to him, saying, "You're not my friend. No, I used you for the sake of honey. Now you can get out of here." Hearing this, Mowgli gets very sad and runs to a tree and climbs up. Then many monkeys come there and take Mowgli with them. Bagheera and Baloo also chase. But those monkeys take Mowgli to a very old fort, on the top of a hill where the king of these monkeys, whose name is Louis, who is very big, he stays there. And when he sees Mowgli, he wants to make a deal with Mowgli. He says, "You are the child of a human, and you know how to produce the red flower, or the blood flower, which is known as fire. How is that produced? You bring that blood flower to me so that I can become the most powerful in this entire jungle. In exchange, I will save you from Shere Khan." But Mowgli says that I don't know anything about the blood flower. I don't even know where it is. And then Baloo comes here. Those monkeys. King engages Louis in conversation, and then Bagheera signals Mowgli. They both start running away, but then a monkey spots them. Louis pursues them, and Bagheera and Baloo fight the monkeys. Mowgli reaches the ruins, escaping from Louis until the ruins. He arrives where Louis is waiting for him. He tells Mowgli that his leader Akela was killed by Shere Khan because of him, and that he will also be killed. Join me, but Mowgli flatly refuses. He says, "You are lying. Akela is alive." Louis says that maybe your friends did not tell you this, but the whole jungle knows about Akela's death. Hearing the news of Akela's death, Mowgli breaks down completely and says that I am going back to my herd. Noe comes to seize him, and the fort starts crumbling down. Mowgli manages to escape by jumping on a tree, and Louis gets buried under the ruins. Mowgli tells Baloo and Bagheera about that. "You liar, you lied to me. You told me about Akela, I didn't tell you, and now I'm going back to my bunch." But most first he goes to the human colony, where he sees the fire burning called the blood flower in the forest, from which every single animal afraid. He picks up a torch of fire from there and goes straight to his flock, runs towards and sparks his torch on the way over the dry leaves falls, causing a forest fire. And now Mowgli reaches the place where all his companions, that is wolves, are here. But there is also Shere Khan, who sees the torch in Mowgli's hand and says, "Look what you have done to the forest, going among the people, and you too, you have become a complete human being now." When Mowgli looks back, the whole forest is burning. Here his companions are also wolves, seeing the torch in his hand. They are afraid, so he throws his torch into the water, and he says that I am not a human being, but I am also a wolf. That I am a wolf, and now because Mowgli does not have a torch in his hand, Shere Khan says that no one can save you from me, and he proceeds to attack him. But all the animals stand forward here to help Mowgli. Baloo also attacks him. At the same time, Mowgli is shown, who runs towards the burning forest. He makes a rope from the branches of the tree, and after that starts climbing on top of the tree. Shere Khan has also defeated all the animals there, and now he also reaches Mowgli. Mowgli deliberately climbs on top of a dead tree, and Shere Khan is also behind him. Shere Khan attacks Mowgli, which causes a claw to hit him, and now Mowgli deliberately goes over a twig, which is very weak, and when Shere Khan comes on top of him, the twig breaks from his weight, due to which Shere Khan Mowgli falls down in the fire. He saves his life by hanging from the rope that he has made, but Shere Khan has now been killed. While all the companions of Mowgli who have been injured by Shere Khan are very worried for Mowgli, and the next moment Mowgli sits on the elephant and comes in front of them, and after that, with the help of elephants, he goes to the forest river. The fire in the forest is completely extinguished by the water, and in this way the entire forest is saved from burning. Mowgli killed Shere Khan, and not only ended Shere Khan's terror from the forest, rather he also avenged the death of his father, who was killed by Shere Khan, while Mowgli's mother Raksha has now become the new leader of the wolves. That is, the wolves, Mowgli is shown, who is now running in the forest as before. He decides that all the tricks and all the equipment he has, he will use it for his own sake. Baloo also lives with them now. And with this story, this film ends here. This film was released in the year 2016. Its rating on IMDb is 7.4. Let's hope this story